Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Cathryn Eicher.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's cooking?
No. All right. Well, this is episode 132.
I planned to elicit like a groaner comment from Cathryn, and that was so satisfying. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh my God. I think it's easy to get a groan out of me.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
going to
It
say
is.
I'm an easy groaner.
You're an easy groaner.
That's a terrible thing to say. Now that I've said that out loud, that sounds horrible.
It sounds messed up.
Anyway, this is episode 132. Welcome. Freddie, take it away.
Yeah, so welcome. Cathryn's an easy groaner. What's cooking?
Sounds like bad in a sexual way.
It does. Hey, we've had a huge boost in support recently. We want to shout out everyone who's hopping on and joining. Follow us on all social media accounts. Instagram and YouTube are the big ones at the Pickup WNBA podcast. So thanks for coming in. It's been fun. We also want to thank everyone for filling out our survey, which is attached to our YouTube channel. It's an ACAST survey, and it's also with the Sonar Network. And basically, it's just a bunch of questions about like what brought you to us and like what sort of ads you may like as we go down that road. We want to annoy people the least amount as we want to not annoy you. And ads are going to be at least slightly annoying, but it'll be good. So fill that out, help us out, and we really appreciate it. And all the good reviews, all that's really helping us and boosting us. So thanks.
Yes, thank you. We have so much going on in the league this week, like so much that we had to like have a whole like program meeting before we started. And so there's a lot of trade stuff happening.
Yeah.
Nelissa Smith got traded. Duana Bonner hasn't landed somewhere yet. There's rumors of Aaliyah Edwards possibly being on the move. So
Yes.
we decided that a lot of this is still ongoing and there's so much to cover this week. We are going to do more of the trade stuff next week. Hopefully a lot of this has settled by then and we'll be able to address it more head on. I just wanted to preface that so you didn't think we were just like missing it altogether. Because today we got to talk about the Commissioner's Cup. We got to talk about this huge expansion news and people's reaction to the expansion news. We got to talk about the All-Star starters being named. So there's just so much happening that we decided the trade news is going to continue. We're going to cover that more next week. This week, that's what we got on the docket. Freddie, sound good?
Sounds great. It's a big docket.
It's a big docket. Is it weird that I said docket?
No, that's great. I'm into it.
All right. I feel like you're mocking me. It's fine.
I'm not at all. I'm into like, very descriptive, weird words like that. Docket. It's great.
I don't think it's a weird. All right. Doesn't matter. Let's get into the Commissioner's Cup. Congratulations to the Indiana Fever winning this in pretty defiant fashion without Caitlin Clark. Really impressive win. They started off the game. It looked at the end of the first quarter, this looked like it was going to be a blowout for the Lynx. And then they came back so aggressive that I think the Lynx were not prepared for the level of defensive aggression that the Fever A were putting onto them, and then B that the officials were allowing them to get away with. And I think it became difficult for them to adjust and come back. Napheesa Collier didn't fully have her shot in this game. I know, Freddie, maybe you've got some of the stats open in front of you, but it was a surprising, very, very good win by the Fever. There was, Freddie, I don't know if you saw this. There was this thing that came out that was like, when the Aces lost the Commissioner's Cup, they won the title. When the Liberty lost the Commissioner's Cup, they won the title. Well, the same happened for the Lynx. Who knows? But I do think the Lynx are going to take this as a teaching moment and learn and progress from it. But very, very fascinating game and win by the Fever, Freddie.
Well, the last two uh, Commissioners Cup finals have been the WNBA finals.
Yes.
So that's kind of fun. So take with that deal with that however you like. I think the part of this that was what the deal with that how you like.
Because you were trying to say the saying and then you pivoted,
Yeah,
and
ADHD baby.
I just found it funny. I'm sorry. And then
No,
I
it's
hit
okay.
my headphones on the mic, so
See, that's what happens when you make fun of someone's
I'm
brain.
losing it too. But I've also been recently, very too recently diagnosed with ADHD.
But when you make fun of someone's brain, you get hit in the brain. That's how it works.
I wasn't making fun of your brain.
That's my saying. You make fun of my brain, you get hit in the brain.
Okay, all right. Let's
That's how
keep
we
it
do it.
moving.
But whatever my saying is, small potato, big potato, eat the potato, however you like it. Caitlin Clark wasn't there, and I
Well, she was in the building.
okay. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Cathryn jumping all over me. I mean, why don't you just say my point? I feel
No.
like you know it.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No. See, it's funny because me and Cathryn are so close. Afterwards, she's gonna be like, "Did I cross the line?" And she didn't. This is great. I'm into it. But Caitlin Clark was not playing on the court during this game. She was on the court playing in a way, but not like in the basketball game. She was enthusiastic. I'm just waiting for that correction. You know what I mean? That's where the trepidation's coming from. But I think most people who watch this game would have expected the Fever to struggle.
Yeah,
That's
everyone expected the first quarter, and then no
yes.
one expected the final three.
Yeah, then the second quarter in particular was just incredible. Like, rewatching that game, Aaliyah Boston is balling out. So yes, Nafisa Collier struggled, but Boston made her struggle, and Howard made her struggle, and Stephanie White really kind of coached the hell out of that game. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
and what always kills me about the Commissioner's Cup and like this final is that this doesn't count towards the standings, and I understand like that just doesn't work. Like it's not something that they can kind of work into the schedule because it's an odd game, it's an extra game. But if you're a Fever fan, you're really sort of excited about how well your team came together without Caitlin. Because amidst all the kind of like hubbub of like Caitlin not being there and ratings and all that shit, I feel like what's left is basketball. And when your star player can't go, you want to know that your team can still get it done. Like even though it's sort of a heliocentric system with Caitlin Clark, you still have players like Mitchell. Again, Colson came in and was just like cutting like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Ari McDonald was incredible. 5 for 6 from the field. Like, so, really, really impressive showing from the Fever.
Yeah, I completely agree, and great point about Stephanie White as well. Like, it, the Commissioner's Cup is gaining
I
relevance
know.
and importance
I know.
in
It's
in
so
this
funny.
league, which we kind of thought it would as time went on. They've improved the trophy years ago. Like I really like the trophy now. All of that, they're drinking out of it on social media and stuff. Like
But
it's,
do you see how it was like how awkward it was to drink out of it?
but that's kind of the point.
I know. It was
I
funny.
mean, and it's also pointy, regardless. Um, I think because this game is gaining more relevance and notoriety, and there's more eyeballs on it, this could be like a coach of the year type of game for Stephanie White. Especially
For
like
sure.
I don't know how many like media members vote on it, but I feel like because it's impossible to watch every single game, you are watching this game, and I feel like that's going to stand out to you. The fact that she was able to win this cup without Caitlin Clark. And also, too, I will say, with Sydney Colson coming in and being able to lead this offense so well. One thing it kind of reminded me of, and I'm going to do a bit of an NBA parallel here with the Pacers, right? Game 7. I'm sure a lot of people watched Game 7 of the NBA Finals this year when Halliburton went down. I mean, obviously that's very shocking, and they didn't know that was going to happen, and blah blah blah. But it felt like it was really hard to get their offense led again in that game, and I think it speaks to how hard it is to lose your point guard. You know what I mean? I think we think of point
Oh
guards as
yeah.
easier to replace because of their height, but it's so hard to lose your leading point guard and have someone know how to lead your offense. And I think with Sydney, I want to say there was a turnover or two or some mistakes happening in that first quarter when she first came out. But between her and I'm assuming Stephanie White figured it out, and she was able to lead the team again, or lead their offense again. And I think that speaks volumes to this team, and I'm very, very impressed.
Yeah, well said. And I think for any NBA / WNBA nerds out there, shout out to TJ McConnell, because
Mm.
he went off in that game. But I was watching that game with a couple friends, and when he was scoring a bunch of points in the third quarter,
Single-handedly kept them in it.
right? But as soon as I saw him going off, I was like, everyone watch the score. OKC's going to take this game over, because if your offense is TJ McConnell, you're
And
done.
only TJ McConnell,
You know what I
you're
mean? And
done.
sure enough, by the end of that third quarter, it was like
They
TJ
were
went
done.
off, and they're down by 20. And I think
Yeah.
that's the loss of Halliburton. But the reason I said NBA / WNBA nerds is shout out to Megan McConnell, who's TJ's sister, who now plays for the Mercury.
She
So
just got waived. Did you know that?
oh no, I didn't know that.
She
Oh,
just got waived.
ouch!
Rough week for the McConnell family.
Oof, oof. I'm so sorry.
That's so mean. Why am I laughing?
Van Loo
It's
also got waived.
terrible that
Yeah,
it's yeah.
it's a
I
it's a
felt
hard
bad
league,
that
man.
she got waived. I actually thought maybe Dewana Bonner being a free agent maybe had something to do with that, because when we were like, oh, she'd be a great fit on the Mercury, we didn't really think about like, oh, who would she be replacing? I'm not saying that is a direct correlation because nothing's happened yet, but yeah, she did get waived,
Oh, 6 days
which
ago. My
sucks.
bad. Ouch. Sorry.
All good, all good. I uh I try to send you the news updates as I see them, but I might
Yeah,
have missed it.
I gotta stay in the mix, man. But yeah, you know what? Commissioner's Cup. We always make fun of it. We had Christine Brennan on a couple weeks ago, and she said that these things take time, and I think that those are some wise words in
Mhm.
regards to like sort of like sports history and like things mattering. So this might be a moment, right? This might be a moment where the Commissioner's Cup kind of like has that little bit of relevance.
Yeah, I think so. We should move on and talk about expansion.
Yes.
Major news came out this week. The W is expanding to 3 cities. Now we did know about Cleveland already,
Yes, we knew about Cleveland.
but now they're announcing Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia, which would be a
That's right.
new WNBA city. 3 new teams being launched, I believe, by 2030.
By 2030, and none, the Toronto, which is where we are, and Portland are going to come like join the league in the same year, next year.
And then
That's
the
not
other team, yeah.
it. They're going to be like 27, 28, or yeah. So yeah, basically one a year. So that'll
So
be
by 2029, we'll have them all.
yes, I believe so. Well, Philadelphia in 2030, and then Detroit in, yeah, that's actually unclear. But I think I guess there's going to be 1 year gap here. But essentially, these
That's
teams,
weird. There's a 1-year gap?
yeah, because
I don't mind us figuring this out. I know, it's not the best podcasting, but I'd rather just know.
I mean, hop on this WNBA website with me, because I'm looking at it and I can't see it.
Ayo.
I see Philadelphia 2030, and
Did
I
you
don't
send
see,
me a link just now? No.
yeah, I did. Uh, it's in our messages, Catherine. But I'll send it to you again
Okay, easy. No, I
in
found it. I found it.
in the stream. But yeah, I can see 2030 is Philly, and
Yeah, so
then
there's no 2027 team.
Got you. Okay, so
So
2028.
Cleveland is 2028, Detroit's 2029, Philly is 2030.
Got you.
And Toronto and Portland are all next year in 2026. Yeah,
Beautiful.
so a lot of reaction to this news, some criticism as well. Like I feel like when they announced the Golden State expansion, the Toronto expansion, the Portland expansion, it was all mainly positive, but now we're getting pushback from different people. The Athletic wrote an article about some pushback, so their sort of editorial about why this might not be a good idea.
Mhm.
Sophie Cunningham had some comments about who wants to be in Detroit or Cleveland, but I'm like, you're in Indiana and I don't completely know the difference. But I'm also Canadian, so maybe educate me, audience, or don't. I don't know. Very just kind of unkind and unfair comment. Satou Sabally said that they
Yeah, I saw that.
received an update of the CBA negotiations, right? The collective bargaining agreement.
Mhm. It was a slap in the
Um,
face.
she referred to it as a slap in the face, and to announce 3 new expansion teams when we're not giving the existing players what they want, or I guess not even close to what they want. I guess they see it as not a good look. I was trying to feel optimistic about these negotiations a few weeks ago. This makes me feel significantly less optimistic about these negotiations. She talked about, you know, a quote unquote few teams that don't want to invest in their players. And, you know, essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially said that they need to step up, which we've known for years. And
Yeah,
I
me and
feel
you have
like,
talked about that forever. There's the owners who are all in, and then there's the owners who have sort of been holding the league back, which I
yeah.
think is it's fair to say. There's the owners who are sort of not really been heavily investing, and then they sort of are like they talk out of both sides of their mouths. They complain about the league and the revenue, and then they don't put their money where their mouth is. So like,
Mhm.
you know, I think listeners can figure out who those franchises are, but they're not the Aces. They're not the Fever now. They're also not the Valkyries or the Liberty or the Storm. Like there's a lot of franchises that are really pushing the league forward, like as far as their ownership groups, and then
Yeah, the
there's
Mercury as well. I think after that,
Mercury as well, for
after
sure,
that we've
for
named
sure.
them all basically.
Yeah. And it's not that the other ones that we haven't named are all sort of like holding the league back, but like some are more egregious than others. But
Well,
anyways,
the
yeah,
ones for sale, like that's the other thing. The Connecticut Sun, which has notoriously been one of these teams kind of holding the league back. And I I don't know what's happening with this sale. It's kind of weird that we are announcing 3 new expansion teams and it isn't, because we talked about like, are the Connecticut Sun going to move? Right? Like if they get bought out by someone, do they end up moving? I was like, what if, they could end up moving to Boston or something, right?
see, okay,
So
so I
I don't know I don't know what's happening with that. All of these teams are in the Eastern Conference, which is interesting to me, Detroit, Cleveland, and Philly. So I don't know what's happening with the conferences. I feel like I'm not enough of a business person to say whether or not I think this expansion is good or bad for the league. What I can say from a fan perspective, it's a bit curious, the amount of expansion at this time. We're very pro player on this podcast, so we want to see the players get what they want. We want to see more roster spots and things of that nature. I'm disappointed to hear that these negotiations are not going well so far, but it's like, yeah, I mean, let's be real. So it's the Sky, the Chicago Sky, the Connecticut Sun, those are the 2 main ones that come to mind. To
mhm,
some degree, maybe the Dallas Wings, I'm not 100%.
yeah, the smallest arena in the league.
Right, and then the Mystics, maybe, and then the Dream, which I think the Dream
The
have a newer and
Yeah, the
better
Dreams
ownership
seem
group.
to be in a better place than that for
Yeah,
sure.
so maybe not necessarily them. They're making strides.
And the Sparks are also like not nobody complains about the Sparks.
No one complains about the Sparks, but yeah, I think maybe, yeah, no one's complaining about the Sparks either, and I believe they're part of the Lakers ownership group, which just sold for a $10 billion
Mhm.
valuation. Um, so with all that being said, those are the teams that we're looking at here that are quote unquote holding the league back. We just know what we're told, you know what I mean, and
Mhm.
what we see. So we don't really have the other side. But Freddie, like I'm only concerned in that I genuinely want this league to do well and I want the players to be happy.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, so many good points. I'll
Sorry, I
say
really rambled there.
no, it's all good. I think that let's start with Sophie Cunningham. You covered it. Mean, unnecessary. We don't really have to talk too much about it. That's sort of out of pocket. Like, I don't even know. You know, if you're from Detroit, if you're from Cleveland, you're probably just like, all right, like, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, I think so. That's that. That's just someone
Mhm,
saying
mhm.
something.
I
Uh,
can't drive a tractor to practice in those cities. I don't know.
oh, well, now we're isolating our farm market, Catherine.
Listen, no, no,
Um,
no. They used to call her Farmer Strong.
I know, but what I'm saying is I'm down with farmers. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
I got
not
no.
against farmers. I was just letting her catch some
I know.
strays.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's catching some strays. So there's the Sophie thing, which is like whatever, right? And she shouted out Kansas and Nashville, which I'm like, great.
Did
They
she really?
yeah, they deserve it too.
They
Uh,
do. Of course they
they
do.
deserve it too, and they're really good. They're really good candidates. You know, I think uh, Kansas in particular has been in rumors for a while, right? With
Yeah. Well, and remember one of our listeners came up with the Pat Summits for the Nashville name,
oh man, it's huge.
which
And
is
going to
such a
Nashville,
bang. Which such a
Nashville would be such a good place. First of all, like Tennessee Titans, Nashville Predators,
listen,
like
if
that
there's
place
if
knows sports. Like it would be good.
can I go to Nashville and enjoy it without being consumed by country music? Is that possible?
No, but you'll get into it. Country music, like I got into it.
Really?
It was fucking awesome. Yeah, Nashville was sick.
Okay. All right. All right.
But
I've only
uh
heard great things about Nashville.
trust me, it's really like when they call it the music city. I've never been to a city with like everywhere you go, there's music that is incredible everywhere.
Hmm.
It was just so cool. But yeah, so okay, Sophie Cunningham, whatever. But I think, you know, from I wasn't able to read this athletic article, but this is something you know, it's a concept that has been out there forever, like leagues expanding too fast, right? You know, I think the National Lacrosse League, which is like, you know, in North America, expanded too fast, lost teams. It happened with Major League Soccer before.
It
Uh,
happened with this league.
it happened with this league several times. So I think what's different here, if you're sort of like, you know, raising a red flag about this league expanding too fast, what you're not doing is paying attention to its growth. So you're
Right.
sort of kind of like parroting a line that is like, you know, it's a popular refrain, but just to sort of keep fans in the like, okay, hold on, where are we actually? So I don't have the exact numbers here, but, like I don't have them memorized, but the the Warriors, which you know the Valkyrie, that Oracle, that group, they bought their team for $50 million, right? That was the going rate at that time. Toronto comes in, Portland comes in roughly around the same time, 150, 120, that area, $1 million, right? Then Cleveland gets a team $250 million. So we don't even know what Detroit and Philly spent to get into this. These ownership groups, by the way, all three of these ownership groups, Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly, are affiliated with the NBA counterparts. So we're talking
Mm.
like massive money here. And these people aren't coming in to lose money and to do bad business. So I really think the business aspect is like you're not following, but I feel like again that sort of connects to the player point, which I think that's the point you made that I feel like is the most, you know, is the most important going forward, like the CBA. The players know the money's there and the players know the growth is there. So this is like the battle of the, you know, of public opinion. That's what's happening. So the, you know, the roster expansion, the evening of salaries, like all or like revenue share, that's what we're seeing. And I feel like nobody wants this momentum to stop. The league doesn't want the momentum to stop. The players don't want the momentum to stop. And at the same time, the players need to use this moment to get back what's rightfully theirs. And I think we're seeing some of that with Sabali and, you know, and other players as well. And we're gonna see more of it because unless the owners and the league really come to the table, then I think they're sort of they're gonna mess up the moment. Not the players. The players have been they're the
Yeah.
product. They've been good. They're doing what they need to do. They make 10% of the revenue, which is horrible. And the league is the one that needs to step up.
I mean, yes, very well said. Only one slight disagreement from me, which is I don't think this is becoming, the public opinion point like you said. I really think this is players versus owners and they're trying to make their it is public. I don't think this is like in the public sphere like that. Does that make sense? Like I just feel like the players are letting us in on their perspective and I think that's smart to do because it allows us to get loud on their behalf, which is only going to help their side of the negotiation. But I think that's sort of the order in which it's happening.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I mean like with the court of public opinion sort of thing, it's like, you hear a lot of like, oh, the players shouldn't complain. The league doesn't make money. Wrong. The league makes a lot of money and the players know that. But if that narrative wins out, there's this element where it's like you're lucky to be here,
Right, right, right.
right? You're lucky to just be
That
in the league.
narrative has to be so long gone.
It's not though,
Unless
right? You still see, especially with the not, I hate to use the casuals, whatever, but you see a lot of people coming in are sort of like, oh, this league only exists because of Caitlin Clark. This league is only, and like, you can't even for a second minimize Caitlin's impact and growth. Like she's such a massive part of where this league is right now. Angel Reese and like many other players, right? But Caitlin, right, is a big one. However, you also have to recognize that it was a product prior to, right? So I think that, like there's many truths here, and I feel like the players need to and are going to shout
they
from the
would have
mountain.
been they would have been fighting. This league was growing before Caitlyn. Like they
No,
would
yeah,
have
but
been
she just
fighting
sort of
every
like she was just
anyway.
like
She
the whatever,
catapulted it to another level.
a
Like
whole dimension, yeah,
like
like
now there's how many expansion teams when before there was probably going to be like one or two anyway.
exactly, and like the fact that the league's expanding at this rate, like they know. Well, I mean, like we already have some of the proof in the pudding with the like the franchise worth, the Sportico thing we talked about from last week.
Mhm.
The also oh god, what was I gonna say? The Yeah, the value of the Sportico thing, and then oh yeah, the TV deal. That's what I was gonna say. The TV deal is like for real, right? Like obviously it's not
Mhm.
NBA numbers, but like
It's big.
billions. It was billions of dollars TV deal. So the money's there, the product's there. Here,
Yeah.
here.
I mean, I feel like because I'm based in Toronto and I know like how much having the Toronto tempo here is going to mean to me, I feel like I would be a bit of a hypocrite to be against expansion because I know there are other people in those cities like us who have been wanting this for a long time. So I feel like I don't want to, now that I got my team, I'm suddenly against it expanding more. Like it just feels like I'd be hypocritical to do that. So I don't want to do that. I just feel like when I see that all the teams are in the Eastern Conference, when I see that the Connecticut Sun are for sale and we haven't seen an update there, I just feel I think there's more to the story. You know what I mean? I feel like there's more happening and that this isn't the end. This is just what's been announced publicly. And to just reiterate my point before and to wrap up this topic, I just really hope this league gets their shit together when it's time to really negotiate and sit at the table because it would be inexcusable for this to be at length.
Yeah, a lockout's like completely unacceptable. I think everyone must know that, right? So if there's fierce negotiation, great, but like this league cannot stop even for a minute. Um, Two like just little things I want to say. Listeners, start hitting us with Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly names. Like this is our shit. We love
And
it.
Portland names. Portland hasn't
And
announced a name.
Portland, what's going on? So we have 4 names on the docket. So hit us up. That's
You're
amazing.
hilarious. That's
I
what
want to
you
shout
that's
out to
you're like,
Jock.
I just want a name. Well, the Cleveland were the Cleveland Rockers and Detroit was the Detroit Shock.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll come back. I mean, Shock's a
So
great name, and actually Rockers is too.
yeah, so we're, we'll see if those come back or not. But Philly's new. Did Portland have a franchise before?
Yes, Fire.
Fire?
Yes, from 2000 2002.
Oh, and we think they'll change that because of all the forest fires, the wildfires that have been happening.
Yeah, shout out to the forest fires. Stop what you're doing.
Shout out to the forest fires. Stop what you're doing.
Listen, we got to try something.
So you think a shout out's gonna work?
It might. Honestly, at this point, it might.
Okay, let's move on to talk about our All-Stars. So All-Star weekend is coming up. They have announced the starting 5 for each team. We're going to find out who the captains are as well. We are going to find out who the reserves are. The voting ends on Sunday, July 6th. They are going to then draft their team. So it's not East versus West. The top 2 vote getters will be captains, and they are going to then draft their team from the remaining starters and the reserves on Tuesday, July. No, is it Tuesday, Monday? It was July 7th. I think I just had it. No, Tuesday, July 8th. My mistake. During WNBA countdown. Freddie, let's list off the starters that we have named, and then we'll just see if we feel like anyone's missing or if we have any passing thoughts.
Sure, yeah. So we got Aaliyah Boston, 3rd time. Paige Beckers is gonna be our rookie first All-Star selection. Caitlin Clark, obviously, leading vote getter. It's her 2nd selection. Nafisa Collier, who's obviously the MVP early front runner. It's her 5th All-Star selection. Alicia Gray from the Dream, 3rd All-Star selection. Sabrina Ionescu, 4th All-Star. Nneka Agumake, who's in very rare, like rarefied air here. I think this. I was just reading. There's like 4 other players that have been done 10 All-Star games. It's like Super Diana Taurasi. Someone, 2 other people I'm missing, but yeah. So shout out to Nneka. Satou Sabally. It's her 3rd time. Stewie, it's her 7th time, and then obviously Asia Wilson, her 7th time as well. So yeah, I mean, my first thought is it's really cool to see Paige and Caitlin, like these kind of like similar-ish phenoms who've just come into the league back to back. I'm excited to see them like either play directly like head to head in this format or on the same team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, congrats to Paige. I believe I saw that she's the first rookie to start in an All-Star game, and my first thought was not Candace Parker, who won Rookie of the Year and MVP.
Yeah. I wasn't around at that time, so I don't
Yeah,
know
we
why.
were watching at that time, but she congrats to Candace Parker. She got her jersey retired with the Sparks this week, and that's when I was reminded of that very epic stat. And then when I saw the starters, I was like, wow, where were the Candace Parker fans? Rookie season. But regardless, happy for her. To be honest, I don't yet feel like there are any snubs. I just think, the league is really stacked. And I feel like we'll see Alyssa Thomas in this game. Arike Gumbawale, I think we'll see in this game. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't see any robbery just yet. It makes sense that Paige and Caitlin, they are so popular. It makes sense that they're there. I imagine we'll see Angel Reese in this game as well. But yeah, I feel like I kind of want to see how the rest of this shakes out. Also, too, you kind of brought up a good point with Caitlin and Paige. I feel like I want to see them face off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because
I think
sort of
that
like,
makes it more interesting.
I mean, obviously I want to see that happen for sure. I also, I think a bit of a missed opportunity here is Kelsey Plum is 4th in the league in scoring.
Oh gosh.
So I think she's a little bit of a snub here.
Oh, I take it all back.
There's only 4
That
players in the
is a
league.
snub.
Yeah, there's only 4 players in the league that are averaging more than 20 points a game. Kelsey, Stewie, Wilson, and
Mm.
Collier. So I think for her, and she's also averaging 5.6 assists a game. Like I get the they're 5-11, so maybe that's what's going on. But I feel like Kelsey
She'll
deserves to
be
kind of
she'll be in the game though. She won't
she'll
start,
be
but
in the
she'll
game for
she'll
sure.
be,
Yeah.
I feel like Kelsey Plum's the kind of player where like she's just like, okay, I'm just gonna go for MVP again. I believe she's been all-star MVP before, but now I feel like she's remember with the tiny trophy?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that all-star game?
It was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that right. So I feel like she's the kind of player that will use that as fuel. So I'm not too worried. But yeah, you're right. She does deserve to be a starter. But I would be shocked as hell if she didn't make the team. I'm sure she'll make the team.
Oh, she's making the team like
And she's gonna
1,000%.
go for it. If anything, the players might be hesitant to draft her because they know she's not gonna pass. She is going for this MVP.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, good eye though on that one. Thank you. Any other all-star stray thoughts before we get the full roster in and team selection?
No, I'm pumped. It's gonna be a big all-star game in Indiana. We were debating going for a while, and then I sort of it just wasn't gonna work for me in the baby. But I would love to be there because I feel like it's gonna
I know.
be, especially with Caitlin and like being like it's like she was the leading vote getter. It's in Indiana. Um,
Yeah, it's gonna be
it's gonna
Kate
be a
fever, literally.
yes, yeah, it's gonna be huge.
Well, maybe we can try and go next year. I mean, I also have a puppy that I'm not, I can't leave alone for multiple days just yet. Um, by next year, we should be fine though.
Yeah, we're going. I'm googling it right now. Where the
Oh,
hell
where
is
is
it?
it?
I don't know.
Oh, they haven't. I
Well,
bet they haven't announced it
they
yet.
probably haven't announced it, but like
Imagine it's here in Toronto.
it
And it's
definitely
like,
won't be. That would be amazing for our first year. I bet it would be like the Valkyrie or something.
oh, little San Francisco trip.
Yeah, just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Sounds expensive.
It would be. Yeah, but we'll see the Home Alone or
The Home Alone,
Home
the Full
Alone. Okay,
House.
Full House. Yeah.
Yeah, the Full House. Yeah. Um, yeah. I went to San Francisco when I was like 17 for it was like a weekend, not very long at all.
Good times.
My parents were like very hippie-ish and they wanted to drive through the California redwoods. And it was really boring. At first you're like, wow, these trees are majestic. And then by day 3 you're like, God, get me out of here. Um yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I'd love to see those majestic bastards, but I feel like as a kid you're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, as a teenager especially, you're like, I'm so over this.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our badass player of the week. Who you got?
I got Asia Wilson. 3 in 1 week, and looking a lot like Asia. So 23.5 points a game, 9.5 rebounds, 4 assists, less than basically 1.5 turnovers, and then 2 steals and 2.5 blocks. So like really that kind of force in nature that we're used to seeing.
Love it. I mean, it's good to see Asia on this list again. I don't know what the Vegas record has been this week. I don't know if you have that. It's all good if you don't.
3 and 1, 3 and 1.
Okay, so they're starting to get things together there, which is great. I'm going with Camila Cardoso here. She did only have one game this last week, but it was an epic game. She scored 27 points in 29 minutes of action. That's impressive. She also had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, a +9 on the night. Really, really awesome game from her. I feel like we don't get to give the Chicago Sky a lot of love, and I saw that stat and went, "Wow, we gotta shout out Camila Cardoso here." So there we go.
Yeah, we don't. They're the Sky have become like the old Fever for us. We're beating up on them a lot, but they're building for the future.
Yeah,
Sky.
yeah,
There
yeah.
will be a. I mean, it's not a long time ago they won a championship, right? They'll get back there.
They'll
They'll
bounce back. They'll bounce
they'll
back.
bounce back. They're good.
I agree. Okay, Freddie, fun question time.
Okay, fun question is going to start with an unfun story, which is so Red Panda. If you don't know her, she is incredible. She is like the halftime performer in the basketball world. So Red Panda,
Yeah, she's the
uh,
greatest.
she's on a unicycle and she balances plates on her feet and her head and her hands, and it's just like it's so awesome. Like she'll
She, like,
flip them up.
kicks a pile of,
Yeah,
like, bowls from her foot onto her head, like, it's crazy.
it's
So
really
good.
it's really awesome. Well, during the Commissioner's Cup game, she took a spill and she fell and like I think hurt her hand or wrist, and you know
Yeah, I
uh
tried to Google a health update, and I wasn't able to find
yeah,
one.
I saw it. It didn't look good at all. So um she got back to her feet and was helped off the court. But anyways, we're thinking about Red Panda. But that made me
Yes.
think, Cathryn, it's your job, it's my job. We're getting subbed in. Um, like, what's your halftime? Like, how are you going to entertain the crowd? Like, you're not getting subbed in after an injury. Like, that's insane. But like, just imagine you or me. We're the halftime entertainment. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you keeping a stadium full of basketball fans entertained?
Okay, this is a really fun question. Also, shout out to Red Panda, wishing you well. The Fever gave Red Panda a shout out too. I don't know if you saw that as they were
I didn't.
celebrating the Commissioner's Cup. They I think it was on Sydney Colson's like live stream or something, but they were like wishing her well, which I thought was really sweet. Um, okay, so at first, when I saw this question, I was just like, what is Freddie thinking? I am not a halftime entertainer. Yes, I do stand-up comedy, but you all know me. I'm very kind of written. I'm sort of in my head, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants stand-up comedy during a halftime show. And then I thought of this really fun idea where we play the match game. Because I don't like to date. I'm perpetually single. I thought it'd be hilarious if they found 3 guys to play match game. I don't see them. Okay? And then I'm in the one chair and I'm like bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, bachelor number 3. They could be fun, flirtatious, basketball punny type questions. We're all fans of the game, blah blah blah. You've got the stadium MC host helping me out. You've got the audience cheering like, do you pick bachelor number 1, 2 or 3? The crowd gets into it. I feel like that could be really fun to play during a halftime. And it would be like a
I
cool
love it.
thing it would be like a
Yeah,
cool thing, you
it'll be
could
a
do it.
spectacle.
Yeah, you could do it in, like, the 5 to 10-minute time slot that you have.
That's incredible. I'm all about it.
Thank you.
That'd be a hit.
Frankly, I would prefer to date this way.
Fair enough. Yeah, whatever. Two birds with one stone.
Imagine the whole Raptors season, like 82 or not 82, it's like half all the home games, right? Like 40 games, I'm just there. They're like, "This girl's she's
I
still
love how
dating, eh?"
I love how in your version of this, you're not just like doing the halftime for like one game, you're doing it every game,
Because I
like
know it
3
won't
nights a
work.
week.
I know it won't.
Imagine if you showed up, even if it's Red Panda. Imagine if you showed up like to several games in a week and it was Red Panda every time. Like they're just not rotating the person. Okay,
Yeah, I
here's
mean, I
mine.
don't go to enough games, but I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, you're right. It's only one time. It's only one time. Thank you for having some faith in me.
here's mine. I am stealing it from my high school coach,
Oh, okay.
high school basketball coach. I had a couple ideas here, but I'm like, this is basketball. It's fun. I think it'll be awesome. So there's always these like kind of like shoot from half competitions or whatever, and it's like they're so hard. And I guess someone wins every once in a while. But anyone that's played basketball like in a gym with friends, whatever, loves the game Bump. So we're
Oh.
playing. We're playing. If you, Catherine, if you don't know what Bump is, YouTube it later. It's the best. Essentially, you have to shoot it from far, and then if you miss it, you have to run and get the ball and do a layup. But the person behind you shoots after you've missed your shot, and if they hit the shot, you're out. So it's sort of like
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's like an
yeah.
elimination game. But what would make this really fun is if and this is where I'm stealing it from my high school basketball coach. He had like sort of like Bump in different places in the gym. So it was sort of like it was a tournament style where it's like if you started at one Bump, you'd go to another one, and then you almost had like a chance to work your way back. So I all this to say, it's just like this is light, easy basketball competition, and I think if fans saw like regular people doing it, it would emphasize how hard basketball is, and
Mm.
B, I think fans would love signing up for this, and it would be awesome.
Okay, so you have and then, like, what is your part in it?
I'm just commentating. Like I'm
So you're the MC of the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah, I'm just walking around being like,
Okay.
"Oh, Jimmy from 3. Whoa, Trisha, ouch." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm basically just, like,
Poor
walking around.
Trisha.
Yeah, poor Trisha, you know? Uh, Tough day for Trisha, but
That
it's
could
all good.
also be fun, but I feel like I wanna see it more one at a time. I think if there's too much going on, it'll be hard to follow.
It would certainly be hard to follow, but it would, like,
And then I
crystallize
don't know
as it
who
got
you're
to.
commentating on. Right. But if it was like if they were like quick speed rounds, does
Yeah,
that make
like
sense to do it in
yeah, yeah.
quicker speed rounds?
Make it
Yeah,
a little bit of a
then I
tournament.
think that could be fun. Does that not
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to
like a tournament of champions.
yeah, yeah, like that. Like I think that would make for at least for me cuz when I watch competition, I like getting invested in people.
Yes.
Like when I watch Jeopardy, which I love watching Jeopardy, it's not cuz I know all the answers, it's because I get invested in the contestants. I'm rooting for them. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for their greatness. So I want at least some ability to do that. I You can't do that fully with speed rounds, but at least I get a semi connected. I can get a vibe
Mhm.
and root for people.
Yeah. I'm I'm in.
That's just my you're welcome to give my idea some feedback.
I like it, except I just don't want you to do it like,
Every every
40 times.
No, no, no. We got maybe we vet these contestants so they would actually be a good match. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
just sort of like get the read on them coming in.
yeah, yeah. Like we gotta get some people to apply, see, just make sure they're normal at least,
Yeah, screen them for like really scary shit.
normal, within a certain age bracket that's appropriate, things of that nature. And maybe you could host it. That'd be fun. You could host my match game.
I'm in. I'll host
But
it.
I'd be looking at you like, who do I pick, Freddie? Who
I'd be
do I
like,
pick?
this guy. And then I just like point to the scariest looking guy.
That's so mean. I would believe you.
Oh, I
No,
do my best.
you wouldn't pick the scariest looking guy.
No,
No.
I'd pick the most docile guy.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? I basically just like, I'm like, who's the nicest guy here?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's very nice. Okay, we should wrap it up there. Freddie, do you want to shout out our fantasy team?
I do. Let's see if I still got him up here. Um, so this week we are up against Cantankerous Cats. That's the next team we're going up against. And uh they got here's the team. Speaking of Beckers and Clark, they have Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Satou Sabally, Shakira Austin, Kayla Thornton, Sanaya Rivers, Natasha Mack, Carla Late, Rachel Banham, I think is how you pronounce it, Haley Van Lith, and Camila Cardoso. Also wanted to shout out the just started this awesome doc series, and I watched the first episode.
Mm.
Sanaya Rivers is just like my favorite person. Like I already liked her, but from watching this, the way that she is sort of like reflects on her mom's passing. And just
Mm.
also like the way that they show her in the draft, like she's just such a awesome story of a person, and really happy that the league is doing this doc series.
It's on Netflix.
I don't know. I watched it
Oh.
on WNBA League Pass.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check that out. Well, thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. Appreciate you all so much. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a positive review. Let us know what you think. Thank you again, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Zelda. Oh, the lick.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.